with friends, relatives, and co-workers. Twitter is a unique form of communication because of its brevity on the postings and had over 40 million users. Conversely, LinkedIn is more business-oriented and has over 85 million members. Facebook, on the other hand, is the most social in nature that had more than 800 million active users, and more than 350 million of these people were utilizing their mobile devices. Moreover, Facebook contends that more than 50% of their active users log on to Facebook in any given day, and that the average user has 130 friends with whom they interact. Mine has exceeded 5,000, and for me to add people, I have to go and delete or remove those that are not active on my platform. It's as serious as that. The biggest effect of social media marketing is that you can reach to your targeted audience, still engage with them, and respond to their queries quickly. Social media is a great way to evaluate your competition by monitoring their social media pages. A poorly executed branding campaign, however, can destroy our reputation in a matter of minutes. And so, the advent of smartphones, which give people compact, portable, social networking access, organizations can no longer reduce the use of social media by having avenues of social media inaccessible on workplace computer. The social media time warp, where we log on to our social media platform and don't resurface until hours later. When employees are distracted with social media, it can become a concern to an organization. However, just because social media can be time-consuming and distracting, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You just need to learn some time-saving tricks to make the most of your time on social media and use it more efficiently. Management of most organizations are concerned on the time employees spend with social media while ignoring their work, duty, and attention employees devote to their technical gadgets, and how to increase the ratio of the overall output of goods or services produced by the input needed to generate that output. Additionally, safety issues may arise due to the distraction of social media present to the employees. Therefore, is controlling excessive use of social media and the judge. Hence, the recourse to social media branding, which is about consistently using the right methods to engage with our targeted audience on social media platforms. Of course, the aim or purpose is to build brand awareness. There is therefore the need to enhance customer service, relationship building, cost reduction, improve brand visibility, company image, and competitive positioning. The purpose of this webinar, therefore, I believe, is to address our concern on social media distraction and its implication at our workplaces, and to provide recommendations to control it. I know a team of erudite scholars have been selected to bring to bear the intellectual acuity on the topic, Technoturity, a colloquium on social media, time management, and organizational productivity, by way of making tangible contribution in expanding the frontiers of knowledge and improvement of the human situation. I believe that the leadership of, at the end of this webinar, leadership of organization, employers of labors, employee, and other stakeholders will have to take home and be better prepared on addressing the issue. To our facilitators from the University of Ibadan, my alma mater, and of course, our home Covenant University, which is our sister university, fully represented by the pioneer DCLR, our home, Dr. Mrs. Felicia Amale Yusuf. And of course, if Covenant is our sister university, from our brother university, faith-based university, is Babcock University, that has been making a good leap in university education system. I say we are all prepared to have a good time with you all. We are optimistic that this meeting will yield positive impact in the world of work. I quickly acknowledge every input that has gone into hosting this memorable webinar. and appreciate the University CLR for setting the pace in this regard. The Registrar Landmark University has also been instrumental in facilitating this meeting. Our deans and director, head of department, faculty, and staff, who have also deemed it fit to be part of this program, have shown that they have insatiable thirst for knowledge, and this exemplary attitude is the true definition of great men all through history. Thank you all for being part of this colloquium, and on behalf of the Chancellor of this great university, Dr. David Oyedeko, I welcome you all to our virtual university platform. Thank you for coming. Come down with us, and we shall do you good, for the Lord has spoken good concerning us. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate it. Please, let's put our hands together for the Vice Chancellor of Landmark University. Thank you so much, sir. This is a beautiful one. As a matter of fact, you've made the half of the presentation for today. And I'm sure that you've given our facilitators a long rope now. I'm sure they are also prepared to give us something beautiful to bite. Without wasting our time at all, I will be, we will be waiting for the first facilitator who will be speaking to us this morning. But before she comes up, we're going to read a little citation of the facilitator. So I'll be handing us over to Mrs. Osoike, who will be reading the citation of the facilitator. That is Dr. Yusuf Felicia. Over to you, Mrs. Osoike. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. It is my privilege this morning
Yeah. You are not audible. This CLR.
Sorry about that. Dr. Felicia Yusuf was a pioneer university librarian of Landmark University. In 2011, she was seconded from Covenant University Library, where she had worked for several years. She ensured that the library commenced operation as a fully automated library and was the first university library in Nigeria to subscribe to Alexandra Library Management Software. She maintained unbroken subscription to electronic databases such as Science Direct, Ebisco, ProQuest eBook Central, and others that were free subscription. She promoted seminars, workshops, and organized several community projects while here in Landmark University. She contributed significantly to promote the NLA in Kwara State and is still a member of the editorial board of the Association's Journal. She has published in local and international journals and has presented papers in conferences at international and national platforms. She is married with children. I'd like to welcome Dr. Felicia Yusuf to the podium. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Osueke. Can we hear me?
Yes, we
can. We hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Osueke.
We can hear you clearly.
I recognize this morning my own Vice Chancellor, Professor Olayoju, the Registrar Landmark University, Ms. Fola Oyinloye, all principal officers of Landmark University, my co-facilitators, all participants on this platform, please permit me to adopt the already established protocol. I find it a great privilege this morning to be invited to my base, and seeing all the people I've seen online today from Landmark University, I feel highly protected, and I feel, highly confident to speak to the subject of discourse. Listening to the Vice Chancellor and the Registrar of Landmark University this morning, I almost, sent a text message to the convener of this will it still be important for my presentation, noting all that has been said? Can we hear me? Can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's back now.
Yes. I hear you.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Just that you're breaking.
Well, I wouldn't know at what point, we had a break in connection, but I was saying that listening to the Vice Chancellor and Registrar Landmark University this morning, I almost sent a text message to the convener, Mr. Wolabi, asking him if it was still necessary to go ahead with the presentation. It was as if they looked into my presentation this morning and we're already reeling out some of the thoughts I put together, here. But that shows how connected we are as an institution. I want to say that this morning they have made my work very easy, and I would just be building upon what has already been said. I have been given a topic this morning to discuss: time dichotomization for social media and work hours. Can we see my screen?
Not yet.
Mr. Wolabi?
You shared it earlier on, but now we cannot see it anymore.
Click on the shared screen.
I'm sure you've clicked on the share screen.
Yes, we have it.
Yeah, I'm sure we can see it now.
Yes.
Yes. I said I have been given a topic this morning, and I'm going to be speaking for the next 20 minutes thereabout on time dichotomization for social media and work hours. By way of introduction, I want to start this morning by saying, for any 21st century organization responsive to the changes occasioned by the engagement of ICT, the place of social media cannot be overemphasized, noting that it has become a veritable tool for social and business communication. And as a result of this, social media usage constitutes one of the major activities on the internet. In 2019, it was reported, that an estimate of about 2.95 billion people use social media, and this is expected to increase to about 3.4 billion within the space of 4 years, precisely 2023. This is quite large. And in a study carried out on American workers, it was reported that about 18% of employees use social media for 15 minutes during work hours. Another 19% use it for about an hour, while 5% engage with the same for about 2 hours. According to a report which came out in 2016, an average of over 2.5 hours is spent accessing social media at work every day by workers. And this accounts for 13% loss in total productivity. 27% use social media for personal purposes during work hours, unfortunately. These statistics may appear small in terms of hours used on social media during work hours. It, however, amounts for the loss of over $6 billion in a year in the United States of America for just 1 hour each day. I'm sure we're already saying, wow. Now, I want to establish the fact that organizations are not averse at all to social media use by employees. And why do I say that? In 2017 alone, companies around the world invested about $37 billion into social media advertising, way to market, in contrast to advertisement through the traditional media. I think somewhere in the Vice Chancellor's address, I saw something very close to this. So it therefore holds that social media is beneficial to organizations. I'm sure we'll all agree to this. However, what organizations may frown at is the wrong engagement of the social media. And this makes employers, it makes the productivity of employers to drop. And it has been a challenge that has been confronting organizations across the globe. What that means is that there has to be a mature and responsible use of technology, especially during work hours. And this becomes an imperative. And this leads us to the subject of technoturity. The registrar did a very good job in explaining to us what technoturity is. It was actually a word that was coined in 2009 by the convener of this webinar, Mr. Olabi, and it connotes safe, controlled, and ethical use. I'm sure we're taking note of those words, of information and communication technologies, internet resources, and social media. So lack of technoturity in using social media usage during work hours constitutes a threat to employee productivity. The Vice Chancellor clearly said that when he was delivering his welcome remarks. And this has a ripple effect on the organization's profits, management, and reputation, among other things. Now, there's a need to establish, the way employers think about engagement with social media and the way the employees do the same. Now the employers focus more on productivity in terms of rules alignment, that is aligning to rules and regulations guiding work hours, quality outputs, and then profitability. And an employer will frown at anything that reduces productivity, and they consider it a distraction. Social media should be directed towards facilitating productivity. Remember, we are talking about what the employer thinks when it comes to engagement with social media. So they want social media to be directed towards facilitating productivity. We cannot rule out the place of social media in the 21st century organization, but majorly it should be focused on driving productivity within the organization. So time spent at work should focus mainly on tasks relating to work. On the other side, we have the employees having their own thoughts, and most employees will focus on freedom, innovation, productivity, and profitability, and then aligning the rules. They also look at work-life balance, which to them is a priority. And there is this mentality that at some point during work hours, I need to relax. And quite a number will think, oh, I'm using free internet at work, for personal purposes. Oh, it may be free. You can see that the free is in quotes. Well, it's free to you as an employee, but as an employer, but to the employee, it is not free after all. Therefore, there's a need to have a point of convergence between employers and employees on the use of social media and time management for high productivity. And this underscores the importance of time dichotomization. Time dichotomization may only be possible when employees are convinced of the need to focus on productivity and its attendant benefits. And it is good to note at this point that yes, at the advent of social media, time dichotomization was possible because we had softwares that we could use to monitor social media usage, but some of them are quite, fast losing relevance because we already have smartphones, other devices that make access to social media even more possible. So some staff adopt pseudonyms when you try to monitor what, talking about time dichotomization, and when you try to monitor, what they are doing on social media vis-a-vis their work productivity. Some have come up with adopting pseudonyms, which makes it near impossible to monitor such employees. So gradually, dichotomy is fading out as many staff even claim legal rights. Some of them will tell you, they have freedom of speech, freedom of association, and all that. But the truth is this: as organizations, we must embrace the realities. Now, every organization is hinged on 5 M's of business management. I heard the Vice Chancellor mention some of this, which are man, talking about human resources, machines, ICT, minutes, that is the time, and the materials and money. Man, machines, and minutes must interact efficiently and effectively in order to engender productivity, which, if you ask me, translates into money. And it is good to observe that the man, that is the human resources of the 21st century, are quite different in our 19th and 20th centuries. Now the machines, talking about ICT, social media, of the 21st century also are more enticing than those obtainable in the 19th and 20th centuries. And more so, we have digital natives. Now, the new generation of human resources, referred to the Generation Z, are technology savvy. And they are excited to invest more minutes, that is time, as long as they are granted access to ICT. Now, having seen these realities, what must organizations bring on board? What must they put in place to ensure a proper balance between social media usage and work productivity of their employees? Now, I'm proposing, policy guidelines. Now, if we consider the mix of positive and negative implications social media has on organizations, a strong policy governing its appropriate usage becomes very crucial. If we just leave it open, I tell you, some people will come to work and all they will do is be on Facebook from morning until they close. Of course, they came to work, but if you want to measure their productivity, then that is where the issue comes in. Now, blocking social media totally on the organization's network tends to produce negative results because so many organizations may want to resort to that. If persons are not doing what the expectations are when it comes to engaging productively at the workplace, they may want to go the extra, the extreme mile by blocking totally social media. But this also may tend to dampen the morale of the employees. So there has to be, we have to strike a balance between total blocking and making it a little bit available, which is why I'm talking about policy guidelines. Now, employees will still succeed in having access, whether we block it totally or not, because sincerely, they have smartphones, smart devices everywhere that you can use nowadays to access social media. And in which case, they may now paint the organization in a negative light, which may not augur well for the organization. Now, a comprehensive and comprehensible policy dictating ideal expectations of social media use at work is required at this level. We talked about getting to a convergence between the employers and the employees when we're talking about engaging productively in the workplace. So there has to be a comprehensive and comprehensible policy that would dictate ideal expectations on social media use at the workplace. Now, there is also the need to constantly give orientation and education to staff on time management. Some persons are just, some employees are just persons who do not know how to manage their time, even outside the workspace. So there's a need for constant orientation and reorientation on time management, social media use, and productivity, which should be ingrained in the policy guidelines. Also, enlightenment on content upload and download on social media also becomes inevitable. Organizations should come out with policies on content to upload. I know, in our own peculiar setting, you cannot just go on behalf of the university, for instance, and just think you have access to social media, you can just do whatever it is you want with it, representing the university without proper and due authorization. Also, I think I mentioned this earlier on the importance of monitoring staff on social media use, engaging softwares that are available. I'm sure my time is fast spent, and I'll just get to the concluding slide, where I said here that social media is too powerful and potentially beneficial to prohibit entirely. Remember, I said that earlier. Considering the positive aspect of social media engagement in an organization when it comes to output and productivity, we may not entirely phase out the use of social media. And organizations should drive towards ensuring that their ideologies and organizational culture are ingrained in staff to promote productivity. I've always been a stickler of the fact that you cannot overdrive people. I prefer to have persons, develop a culture over time that will guide the way they behave, that will guide anything they do, whether anybody is watching or not. If we're able to come to that level as organizations, when it comes to the subjects of social media use, I think it is better than all the other monitoring mechanisms we may want to put in place. So what I'm saying now is providing a policy guidance, as I said earlier, is considered a key element in ensuring responsible use of technology, especially social media, in a work environment. I want to deeply appreciate every one of us for listening, and I want to believe that rising from this webinar, we'll begin to have a rethink as to policies to put in place to ensure a balance between social media use in the workplace and employee productivity. Thank you so very much.
Wow, that was a beautiful presentation, ma. Please, let's put our hands together for Dr. Yusuf Felicia. Really appreciate that. Thank you so, so much. It has been so engaging and so rewarding. Really appreciate that. I'm sure persons have been seeing raise of hands and all that before the end of the presentation. And somebody even requested that the slides should be sent. Definitely after this program, we're going to send the slides of the presentations to our participants. Once again, Dr. Yusuf, really appreciate you. We say thank you so much. After the second presentation, we will be having interactive session. So without wasting our time at all, we will go to the second presentation, and that will be Dr. Ayo Alunge. I'm sure is prepared. Mrs. Osweke is on ground to read the citation of the second presenter, that is Dr. Ayo Alunge. I'm sure is very ready. So Mrs. Osweke, over to you.
Hello, sorry. I was waiting for the admin to unmute me. Can I be heard now?
Go ahead.
All right, sir. I'll be reading the citation on Dr. Ayodele Alonge. Dr. Alonge is a lecturer at the Department of Library, Archival and Information Studies, Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. He holds a PhD in Communication and Information Studies from the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, University of Nairobi, Kenya. He has a master's degree in Publishing and Copyright Studies and a bachelor's degree in Library and Information Studies from the Department of Library and Archival and Information Studies, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. He is a certified librarian of Nigeria. He is a fellow of the Consortium of Advanced Research Training in Africa, Nairobi, Kenya. He's a fellow of the Institute of Information Management and the chairperson of Library Education and Training Institutions section of African Library and Information section of African Library and Information Association and Institutions. Wow. Before joining the university as an academic in 2013, he worked as a librarian and the social media coordinator for KPMG Nigeria. During this COVID-19 lockdown, Dr. Alonge is leading social media research titled The Chronicles of Researchers in COVID-19 Lockdown in Africa. He's also providing educational social responsibility by organizing educational services for some university courses in LS through Churches Skyboard. I'd like to present to you Dr. Ayodele Alonge for his presentation. Dr. Alonge, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. I really appreciate. Hope you can hear me, everybody. Yes. Greetings and good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to appreciate the organizer of this program for inviting me to speak. I want to also give honor to the Vice Chancellor of this great landmark university, Omu-Aran, and the registrar and all other member of the Senate present at this program. All protocol duly observed. Well, as the very said, I'll be speaking on social media and organizational branding. The Vice Chancellor, the registrar, they've really said a lot about social media. But I will also emphasize that social media is a powerful tool that defines totality of our life today. I cannot see anything that we do that we cannot apply social media into. It plays an important role in our life. We use social media in practically everything we do. Talking about education, talking about the communication, information assembly, and information dissemination. Social media is used. Talking about religion, looking at shopping, banking, just think of anything. You can apply social media.
Maybe the co-host. Okay, so I can mute.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I speaking?
Right.
Okay, great. And then also connecting with family and friends and colleagues has made very easy, especially in this period of COVID-19.
So
now, when we look at social media, we all know that tools, there are so many. You can see my slide. For example, we are using Zoom right now. Though we are very far apart, we can connect through Zoom, Google Meet, and others. For socializing, we use Instagram, Facebook, and others. Professionalism, you talk about LinkedIn, you talk about some other one like Twitter, blogs, and so on. Instant communication, look at WhatsApp, Telegram. It has done a lot in connecting people all over, irrespective of the distance and also the space. Look at video. For example, now as we are doing this presentation, the video is on YouTube already. That is the power of social media. These tools are all very advantageous. They are very advantageous. And no doubt, especially now that we are we have the fear of coronavirus. It has kept us away from one another physically. As a result, social distancing, travel restriction are now the normal norms today. And we can see that social media, the technology, has made our life to continue in spite of the pandemic. You can see that's one part of the power of social media. Now, today, in the spirit of technoturity or technoturity, actually that language I also searched online, I can't find. Later I discovered that this was developed or created by my dear friend, Shola Olabi. This is great. It should go to Wikipedia. You know, it's a very great one. So my presentation today will focus more on the use of social media for organizational branding. Let's talk about ourselves. Let's ask ourselves all these questions now. For example, now, how well do you use social media? I know Dr. Yusuf has really said a lot about this, because with so many of us, we don't know how to manage our time on social media. We waste our time away. Do you have the technical and emotional competency to effectively make use of social media tools? That's what we're talking about, technoturity. I don't know the pronunciation. Are we maximizing using them for our personal and organizational advantage? Or we just waste our time and our resources using them? Ask yourself, what do you use social media for? As for me, I gained a lot using social media. My PhD research is on social media. My first time outside this country, it was done through a connection I saw and I kept through social media. So I will ask you, how are you using social media? So now today, we want to see how we can use social media to the advantage of our organization, to the advantage of ourselves, personal branding. Now, you can see, I know some of you can see this. On a lighter note, I will inform you that I'm a very good cook. And I'm very best at cooking Indomie. And if I ask you, you ask me, what type of Indomie do I cook? You know, you talk about Honeywell, you talk about Dangote, Golden Penny Indomie, and so on. Indomie, imagine. Do you know that Indomie is just one of the types of instant noodles? Do you know that? It's also similar to, in the olden days, we call Maclean's, any toothpaste, Maclean's. We call Close-Up. Now, I asked my children this morning that, what do you want to say Close-Up? You know, that's branding for you. The brand that has dominated or that has dominated the market. That's what we are saying. Some brands are so strong that they have been used for other brands. Go to the market, I want to buy Indomie. Which one do you want to buy? Give me Golden Penny. Not knowing that they are all called instant noodles. That is when a brand is a brand and a brand is done well. Now, how do we define branding? Well, we say branding is the market practice of creating a name, creating a symbol or design that categorizes and differentiates a product from the other products. Similarly, we can apply this also to human being. We can say that when you brand yourself, personal branding can be seen to be a practice of marketing by creating a name, a symbol, a design that classifies and differentiates you as a person, that classifies products from another product, that classifies a university from another university. When I talk about university, private university, because leading, talking about a federal government school, it finished from our school. The University of Ibadan is one of those leading universities we can see today. So the technology is developed faster. Now let's look at organizational branding. And as I will say today, I'll be speaking on organizational branding from the perspective, or I can say, from the angle of personal branding. Because an institution, for example, is not a living entity. It is the individual in an institution that will build what institution
So, dear all, it's been a wonderful presentation. We are trying to reconnect with Dr. Alonge. He's trying to resend his slide to us. While we are waiting for him, I know that branding is very, very critical for organizational productivity. As a matter of fact, my friend was sharing on his love for Indomie. Should I say I like Indomie too? But everybody just calls Indomie Indomie. It is not, it is noodles, but they have taken over after a long advert on the social media, you see, and also the general media also. I'm sure that branding is very critical to organizational popularity, and also which translates to productivity. Because when people know you, somebody said the most brilliant, the most beautiful girl in Nigeria is not the most beautiful girl. It's just the most beautiful, or the beautiful girl that came out to contest. So visibility is inevitable. And this is what social media has been doing for organizations all over. But what we see today is somebody just coming on social media, just put a picture, nothing communicating. You're just showing your body and all that. But it's a good platform for us to project our organization, to project our ideas, and to project whatever we have as individuals. I'm sure that Dr. Alunge will talk more on this. It's already coming up now. I'm sure that it will soon come up. Just 2 minutes. I want us to just hold on. Thank you very much.
Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly now. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, apology. That's technology issue, please.
Yes.
I'm on the issue of talking about the strong brand, and I think I'm done with this. Now, I'm defining branding. I say branding is the marketing practice of creating a name, a symbol for yourself, and for yourself or for your organization. I've mentioned that. Now, I'm now saying that an effective branding strategies give you a major edge in increasing competitive markets. We have many schools around, we have many libraries, and we have many people that can do what you are doing. So how do you distinguish yourself from others? How do you distinguish your product from others? That is called branding. So today I will be speaking on organizational branding from the perspective of personal branding. Because as I said earlier, an individual makes an institution. For example, now, if you are not doing well, if you are misrepresenting your institution outside, it will count on your institution. Looking at the rating of universities around the world, they look at the profile of the lecturers, of the scholars in that university. So as a result, I will be looking at it from personal branding. I gave an illustration of what happened many years ago of a man called my Oga at the top. You remember in 2013, long time, about 7 years now, but still very, very fresh. You know, it means that an individual brand image collectively determine and influence our organizational branding. This man, you remember, as a civil defense commandant, would not even say the web address of the organization, and it goes along. So, you know, whatever you build, if you don't build, maybe you are head of an organization, if you don't encourage your staff to build their brand online, it will affect your organization negatively. And if you build them to give a good view, it will also make your organization. So you cannot say that they should not use social media, but what they need is how they can apply maturity in the use of social media. Now, I want to see, I've mentioned that now. Now, I want to see about 3 C's of personal branding. I want to emphasize on personal branding. Whatever I state here on personal branding can apply to organizational branding, because individual and organization coming together will give a good projection of that organization. Number one, when you are using social media for your personal branding, are you clear about your purpose? For many people, when you are working, some people are just working because I want to earn salary. But if you take your job as very, very important, it will enhance your purpose in life. And also that your purpose in life will enhance the purpose of your organization. If you can associate what we do with an outstanding vision, it will enable us to see ourselves and our roles as part of the bigger picture and purpose within our organization. So it is very, very important you will see that. Now let's move on to the other one, the coherency. For example, if you need to be very coherent and to be able to be a kind of team player, you know what you are doing, work together with other people in order to achieve your brand. You cannot develop this alone, you know, without connecting with others. So to build and maintain an excellent brand, you must work with others. You will never work alone. If you work alone, you will lose. You need to work with others. Look at Shola Olabi. He's doing a program together with the university over there. It's involving that we are not in the university, we are other university. That's we are working together. We are building brand. For example, now he has been doing this work and we know him for this. Then the other one is, the final one is the commitment. You need to commit yourself to what you do. You need to, that vision you are driving, that goals you have, if you don't commit yourself, if you don't believe in it, it will not achieve anything. So committing to your personal brand does not mean that you really know what exactly will happen in 20 years, but you are building it gradually. I want to use myself as an example. When I was working with KPMG, it's not academic department. It's just an audit firm. But I knew that I want to be in academic. During that period, I was busy writing papers, attending conferences. Some people will be looking at me there, what are you doing? Do you need all this? Because I knew that in the next 10 years, I want to be this, I want to be that, and I achieved that. So your branding, you need to commit yourself. You need to be coherent. You need to work with others as a team, and you need to be very clear about what you do. Now let's move on. Now looking at this now, I want to discuss the role of personal or organizational branding. The role, the rules. What are the rules? What are the requirements that guides this? Number one, I would say that when you are on social media, you need to fully update your social media account. There's some people, they have social media accounts, their picture is not there. Their information, like basic information, not about your date of birth, not about your bank account, but some basic information that can be given to the public is not there. Where you have worked before, it's not there. You need to put all this. You need to have a detailed information on social media. It will help you. It will build you. The other one is that you need to identify your area of expertise. You need to identify your area of expertise. So you cannot be a jack of all trades. Though we say we librarians, we are jack of all trades and master of virtually everything. But as a professional, whether you're a professional working, whether you're a student, you must identify the area you want to build. You need to know so that when you create content online, they will know that, oh, this guy is talking about ICT. This guy is talking about education. He's talking about health information. They should know. So these, your readers will love to come to you. And as a result, when somebody needs a kind of expertise in that area, they will know, oh, this guy, he has been talking about Technoturity. He has been talking about what do you talk about? About library science and reading. So they know this guy, this is his specialization. Now that's one. Another one is that make posting easy with app. You don't need to be going on your system, on the computer system every time, even on your phone every time. We have a good number of applications that can help you to create content and to maintain an online presence by not waste your time. But there are many social media, as I said, we have Hootsuite, we have Buffer. They are there, whereby they can post for you automatically. So with that, you will be having a good online presence. Then the other one, which I would like to mention, is share content on regular basis. When you have a social media platform, you must have a time when you share your content on regular basis. And mind you, don't overpost. Some people, they will just bombard your WhatsApp, your Telegram, your Facebook with some messages that you will not even read again. So know where you post. Maybe you want to be posting once in a day, post, and you post based on your area of specialization. Just be bombarded. I have the same thing. So you need it at a regular time. You know who to follow and also to know what to post. And another thing is keeping it positive. When you are posting online, you must make it positive. You need to put something that is positive about you. You need to put something that is not negative. Don't put something that's not negative. Some people, I could remember, I learned that if you are looking for a job, they go to your social media platform nowadays to look at what you do. We're not saying you should not socialize, but when you drink a bottle of alcohol, don't take it to the media and showing that you are drinking. It's giving a bad reputation about yourself. So be professional in your posting, because all these will account for the status or for the profile, for the brand of your organization. Then the next one is that you need to find groups and join. Look for groups to join. Don't just stand alone. As I said, you need to work with people. Look for groups that are similar to your interest. Facebook and LinkedIn both offer thousands of opportunities to join groups, focus on specific industries and topics. Use the search bar of all this network to search for relevant groups where you can join. And these are the advantages of joining groups. You know, it will push you to achieve your goal because you see people that have done something you want to do or something similar to what you want to do, and you can learn from them. It keeps you accountable. You can even have a mentor on this platform. It give you ideas on what you can do. Yeah, also, you can receive feedback. You know, you can get people to give you feedback, whether you are doing well or not. You know, and so you can see, test your knowledge, develop leadership skills, and also discover new opportunities. You must be able to join all these groups. It will help you in forming a positive brand, professional brand, and even personal brand as well. Then the next one is that you also need to study influencers. I don't know the profession you are, whether you are into sciences, you are into library and information science, you are into agriculture, you are into technology. We have a lot of influencers in your discipline. Connecting with them and collaborating with them is a great way to get your brand known. They will know you. Early enough, I knew this, even when the social media is not really common. I will just be posting on, then we use Yahoo group. I post from time to time. And there's one influencer in my discipline who recognized me early enough. And it built me, it mentored me to where I am today. And I'm still learning. As people are learning from me, I'm also looking up to people that I also learn from, the influencers. So don't just waste your time on social media. LinkedIn is a great place for you to find and engage with other experts in your industry. Go there and you learn from these people. Now, in conclusion, creating a personal brand on social media isn't easy. It's a time-consuming thing. It requires a lot of thought. It requires a lot of research to do so that you can be successful in connecting. It is not about how you look. It is not about where you work or where you live. It is about what you stand for. You need to emphasize it. What do you stand for? It is about what you know and what you want to know. So, and what people should expect when they see you and when they see your post should be what you stand for. So don't just think of now, think of long term. Remember to take a note of what is working for you and what is not working. It's not compulsory you are on all social media. Look at social media that is working, that you want to use, you are common in, and be there and post what you need. At the end, you'll be great. At the end, you won't, people will be looking for you. At the end, you will be an expert in your field in no time. You don't need billions of naira to have a positive brand online nowadays. Like Close Up, McLean's, Indomie, they use money to keep their brand. But you have social media, which is totally free, except maybe you need to buy data anyway. So use it positively and apply wisdom, apply maturity in the use of it. At the end, you will be happy and your institution will also be happy at the end. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Your presentation has exposed us to an aspect which many people are not taking really serious. The social media platform is very, is a veritable tool for us to brand our organization and to brand ourselves without spending so much money. In the past, advertisement used to be going through the eye of a needle to actually be seen on newspaper, to be seen on television, but we all create our content now, and we have a lot of social media influencers. And what used to be, what really challenges me is these people that are just, what do you call them, are comedians and all other people coming, taking over the social media platform, while the academics are just coming behind. but I'm sure that this is going to give us an impetus to actually move on to the mainstream of social media use for projecting our academic and business innovations. Thank you so much. One more time, please. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Alonge. Thank you so much, sir. We will spend the next 8-10 minutes for interaction. And I'm very sure we all have things to share. As we come together, persons we have opportunity, admin, please put people, you can unmute persons to actually make contributions now. Mr. Femi Ojo, thank you very much.
Two speakers.
To make contribution based on the first presentation and the second presentation, have actually let us know. Through chat, I think we can also send in our questions so that it will not be rowdy. You can send in your chat message. So you can just chat, then we will answer the questions. We'll call the persons that are concerned for it to be a bit orderly. Thank you, everyone. Some questions are already coming in through chat. So that without wasting our time, we want to move to the third presentation because of our time. So we have Dr. Babalola Yemisi from Covenant University already seated to make a presentation. I'll be handing us over to Mr. Adekoye, who will be reading the citation of Dr. Yemisi Babalola. Please, over to you, Mr. Adekoye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir, the Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, the Registrar, Landmark University, and the distinguished participants of this very informative webinar. I have the privilege this morning to read the citation on Dr. Yemisi Babalola. I read. Babalola Yemisi, PhD, is a senior faculty member of the Department of Information Resources Management, Babcock University, where she teaches and mentors students at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. She has over 15 years of experience in teaching and research. She also has a good number of publications in reputable journals. She has also participated in various workshops and seminars related to library and information management. Areas of interest are information literacy, human information behavior, ICT application in information service, among others. May I present to you Dr. Babalola Yemisi for our presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
We can hear you, Dr. Babalola.
Thank you very much.
We can hear you.
Thank you. The Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, the convener of the colloquium, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here this morning. I'm really appreciative of the invitation to be part of this very important, very timely colloquium. I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'm going to be talking on the topic, social media use and control in organizations. My co-presenters have already established how pervasive social networking has become for individuals and for organizations. Since Facebook came on board about almost 3 decades ago, we've had a series of social media that are being used by different people and organizations for different purposes. Individuals use this platform to connect with their families, to share information, learn from others, and form professional collaborations. There is no doubt that social media have come to stay. Like someone said earlier, most of the time, when people wake up, the first thing they want to pick is their phone. They want to check their WhatsApp. They want to check what's on Facebook. They want to see what's trending on Twitter. It has become a part of our everyday life. Apart from using social media for personal development, people also use it for fun and entertainment. Oftentimes, people enjoy downloading, watching videos, playing music online. All of these are accessible through the social media. We've also established that organizations find social media very useful in communicating with their employees. Some organizations have social networks within that are not accessible to the public. But a lot depend on the publicly accessible ones, the consumer social networks, to advertise their products, to gather intelligence about brands and about their competitors. It's a very good platform to connect with customers, to address issues, and ensure that the customers are locked in to organizations. A lot of businesses find the social media a very good platform to source for potential employees and also to screen them. It's been mentioned earlier by Dr. Alonge that sometimes organizations use the postings on social media to assess their applicants, and that is becoming the norm. Given all these benefits, a lot has been said about how people can misuse social media, but I want to just quickly run through some of them here. Social media have been identified as a major source of malware, of course, because some of these viruses are embedded in such sites, such that when you download, you also download, malware alongside, which could be a problem for organizational network. There have been cases of employees who go on social media to go and vent their anger or their discontent with their employers on the social media, causing embarrassment, for such establishments. There have been inadvertent release of confidential information on the social media. Sometimes this leading to litigations. Employees sometimes use the social media for a lot of inappropriate activities, such as pornography, gambling, and cyberbullying, all of which have implications on the organization. Another very common challenge with social media use in organization that has been widely reported in the literature is social media addiction and cyber loafing. As people have mentioned, these media can be addictive. They are engaging, they are fun, and it's easy to, because they are very flexible, it's easy to switch between serious work-related activities and entertainment using the same platform. And so the issue of cyber loafing has become a serious challenge that undermines organizational productivity. As a result of all these challenges, it has become very important for organizations to take measures to control the use of the social media by their employees. We have technical measures as well as non-technical measures. The technical measure, as had been mentioned earlier, could involve blocking social network sites such that employees cannot access social network sites while at work. This might seem like a very simple solution to the challenge of social media overuse or cyber loafing. But it might not always be, because it has implications that could negatively affect even the organization. For example, it limits an organization's visibility online. We have seen from Dr. Longe's presentation how organizations can use social media to brand themselves, to project themselves, and make themselves visible to the public, potential customers, and the like. But when social network sites are blocked in organizations, it could limit their visibility. It could also be a way to limit the creativity of employees. It could be limiting because, like we have mentioned earlier, social media can be a platform for collaborating, for finding experts that could help people advance, that could help people develop their potentials, even as employees, that could make, that could have professional benefits, finding connections that could have professional benefits to them. But if there are no access, at the workplace, there could be a challenge of, lowered employee morale or reduced creativity. Besides, some people have argued that there is nothing wrong with using social media while at work. After all, you don't want to be on the internet. There might be need for you to do something fun just to deflate the stress and cope with the job and then possibly reduce job burnout. If social media network sites are blocked in organizations, they could actually increase job stress, because it means that you expect employees to continue to work continuously. Of course, that could not be positive, cannot have positive effect on productivity. Another technical approach to monitoring and managing social media use is electronic monitoring, in which case an organization tracks the sites that the employees visit to ensure that certain sites that have been specified as no-go areas are not visited, and to monitor the time spent by employees on those sites or any other sites at all, just to avoid cyber loafing. This is also a very valid approach, but then it could actually have a negative impact on the employees. For instance, employees are put on constant pressure, because they feel that they are being watched, and so they have to keep on be at their best performance all the time, which might affect their morale and even their performance. Eventually, might not actually contribute positively to productivity, even in terms of the quality of output. Besides, electronic monitoring can be invasive. Find that people, if it falls into the hand of the wrong people, certain video recordings can be used, against employees. And of course, some employees can even take on the organization, as invading their privacy. Especially the fact that sometimes employees are not aware that they are being watched. And so it's just like people using the electronic monitoring system as a kind of power advantage over their employees. Besides these technical measures, there are some non-technical measures that I believe could be very, very productive, could be very effective, or as a way of controlling social media use in organizations. One of them has been mentioned, and that is having social media use policy, a document that details clearly what employees are supposed to do, or the position of an organization with respect to social media use. What kind of sites could be visited? What kind of usage are acceptable? All these are spelled out in the social media use policy. But you find that sometimes organizations don't take this seriously. We just assume that everybody should know what is acceptable or what is right. It is when somebody has defaulted, you now begin to bring out some kind of punitive measures. Whereas having social media use policy could actually be a deterrent. It could help people, to manage themselves, control themselves without unnecessary punishment. Okay, and then I'm proposing that management by objectives would also be a good way of helping to curb cyber loafing and time wasting on the social media. Management by objectives implies that an organization or a manager and the employees have a clear idea of what is to be done, the objectives of the organization, as well as the objectives, specific objectives for the employee. What is expected of you to do at a particular time? The instructions must be clear, and the expectations must also be clear. Peter Drucker suggests this management by objectives, and the objectives should be specific. They should be measurable. They should be achievable and realistic. But most importantly, they should be time bound. In a situation where an employee has some tasks to do and might not exactly know the time limit that he has, it's possible for them for such a person to be loafing, possible for such a person to be procrastinating. But with application of the management by objectives, there will be regular performance evaluation from the end of the manager. This will keep a kind of check, will provide a kind of check, on the employee. And also it will be, there will be feedback which could help that employee to know how he or she is performing on the assigned tasks. So I think adoption of management by objectives would help to enhance productivity even while using the internet and the social media in particular. Another non-technical measure that would be very useful is periodic training on time management. Time is an irreplaceable resource, and everybody has limited amount for each day in which we have a lot to accomplish. But as has been mentioned earlier, a lot of people might not just be lazy or disgruntled, but they may not actually know how to manage their time in light of the assigned or in light of the tasks that they have at hand. Sometimes procrastination or not knowing how to prioritize could be a challenge to some employees. So periodic training on time management could be a way to help such people manage their time. It's not a crime to go online and check some sites of Pinterest or socialize. Like it has been established, we cannot do without these things. During this period of COVID lockdown, a lot of people found the social media the only means of connecting with people, with others. And this might continue even after the lockdown. So people need to know how to manage their time while on the social media. Lastly, I want to suggest that if employees are well motivated and if they perceive that they are trained, they are treated fairly, they are likely going to give more time and more commitment to their organizations, and that will actually increase their productivity, because motivation can increase job satisfaction as well as employee engagement and commitment. I believe that if the management of organizations would look into all these non-technical measures, or perhaps have a comprehensive approach, which involves a combination of the technical as well as the non-technical measures, they'll be better able to get the best out of their employees. Experts have told us that we might not get out of that the COVID-19, though we want to wish it away, and scientists are working frantically to get maybe vaccine or treatment for the disease, which we hope will come soon. But regardless of that, experts have told us that we might have to live with COVID-19 for a while. And that might mean that some organizations might still encourage telecommuting, a situation where people work from home rather than come physically to the workplace. And for that reason, we find increased use or dependence on the social media. People will spend more time working on this, using social media to connect, to source for information, and so on. For that reason, organizations need to be proactive in using appropriate measures to control or to regulate the behavior of the employees on the social media. From the picture on the screen, you can see somebody working from home, and of course, he might be using the social media, he might need to be using the social media. How do we control such, knowing that he might not even need to use an organizational network to access the social media? He might have to use his phone. All this suggests that the ability of managers to monitor the productivity of employees would depend to a large extent on trust. And so the issue of motivation, the issue of empowerment through time management skills, and job satisfaction, all of these could help people to be more committed. As a matter of fact, when people work from home, there is likelihood for them to work even more hours. Only from personal experience, within this COVID-19 period, I realized that I could work at any time. You find, messages coming in, requests and demands and directives from the management flying in every now and then. And because you are not actually moving out of your comfort zone, the tendency is there for you to keep working and keep doing things and keep things moving as long as you have the tools available. So employees might actually be able to achieve more if they are properly guided and if the appropriate motivational measures are put in place. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow, that was a beautiful one, Dr. Yemisi Babalola. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you for that presentation. And I'm so excited that we didn't make a mistake inviting you for this program. So we really appreciate you. We have looked at how organizations can control use of social media. And this is a major challenge in every organization. How do we control use of social media? And it's also confirming what Dr. Yusuf Felicia also said, that people may feel monitored, but there is a need for policy in place and also orientation on the use of social media. Thank you so much. One more time, we say we really appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much. Please, I want us to put our hands together for one more time. Thank you so much, man. The next presentation by Dr. Aramide may not be coming up. We are still trying to connect with him. But while we are waiting for that, we'll just use the time now for interactive session. We've seen some hands up. Noram, good luck. It will be your time now to speak if you are still connected. Noram, good luck. Please, if you are ready, over to you.
Yes, good morning.
Please, we cannot hear you clearly. Please speak out.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I want to appreciate the presenters for presentations. Social media, like Dr. Yemisi said, has come to stay. However, the challenge we have in today's world is how we can apply some of the benefits or some of the advantages that social media has for us. And on that note, I want to talk about, there is something very important. You know, when you talk about the world of internet, social media, there's something called digital footprint, all right? Digital footprint is very, very important. We need to be aware of what digital footprint is if we are going to make effective use of social media. Now, when you talk about digital footprint, it's more like the trails or the footprints that are being left as we make use of internet resources. And then digital footprint, for example, you have a basic email. Let me use a Google Mail, for example. And you know that virtually some of the sites we sign up to today, social media and different websites that we sign up to today will require us to use our email. And then you find all of us using one email across all platforms. Work allows for the trail of our activities on the internet over time. Now, what I'm trying to say in essence is that the use of social media leaves a footprint, a digital footprint that should make us become very considerate of the kind of sites we visit, because if you visit the wrong sites using the same email, one day you'll be shocked that if the data that you have left on the internet is curated, if you create such data and then you begin to look at yourself to see, these are the things I've been doing, these are the kind of messages I've been sending, these are the sites I have visited. And when you look at them and you see the negative ones, it's very, very, it's something that sometimes you'll be ashamed of. Now, but if you use social media for the right activity, all right, you discover that you're going to be leaving positive digital footprint. And then what do I mean by positive digital footprint? You're on different forums, you comment on economic issues, you comment on social development issues, you bring up policy recommendations that people will want to adopt in trying to solve societal problems, all right? It will make people to always look for you because they know that this person has left a good trail. But if you are the type that you spend all your time on social media, watching baseless and meaningless videos on Instagram, on Facebook and all, when time comes for issues that matter, people will not want to refer to you because they know that, yes, your digital footprint is negative. And whether we like it or not, some of us, we visit some of these sites and we carry out some of these activities without knowing that we are being monitored. By the time whoever is behind the server pulls out the data on us about the kind of sites we visit and everything, we'll find out that we must have left a negative digital footprint. So I'm just using that as a point of contribution that in as much as we want to make use of social media, we should have it at the back of our mind. You can Google it, all right? You can have it at the back of our mind that there is a footprint that we are living digitally. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate that. Digital footprint is very, very essential, and we must be mindful of that. So many people have lost their jobs even through their digital footprint. Thank you so much. It's a very, very welcome contribution. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Now I can see Oyebode Samuel Adeolu lifting up. So it's over to you now. Oyebode.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, we can hear
Hello?
you. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, please. Yeah, I want to commend the presenters for a good delivery, and it's apt and trendy in our world of today. I want to also, the first presenter mentioned that an abuse of social media in organization, which is evident today, and equally talked about people having their, even after the organization has already blocked their, the social media, they still make use of their smartphone. Fine. And the last speaker as well, that's Dr. Babalola, she mentioned that these things, the issue of social media, that if an organization perpetually block the social media, it will lead to stress, and will allow people, they said all works and no play make Jack a job boy. Now, please, I would like us to strike a balance between an abuse of social media in an organization, and also there's an organization that they cannot just they cannot just it's very important for them to use it. Is quantum to their organizational efficiency. So I want us to be able to interject together. To check a balance, whether this social media, there are some organizations today that block this social media basically because of what they have experienced from their employees, and they are moving on. But then people still circumvent the efforts of the of this decade. Thank you. So it would have been okay if we can be able to strike a balance. Yes. Which one is even best? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. And I think Dr. Yusuf and also even Dr. Babalola made a reference to that organizations now thrive on social media, and also the individual employee also may require that, but striking the balance, and he started talking about policies that have to be put in place and constant orientation. I think that is what is very, very important. When people have orientation and they understand what the organization stands for, they'll be able to actually comply. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that our facilitators are jotting down some of these. We'll give them maybe 2 minutes to actually make their contributions again. I have Akim Araba. We have just 5 minutes to end this. I have Akim Araba. Sorry, if now I seem to have lost Akim Araba. Okay, can Akim Araba come up now, please? Please, Akim Araba, you can unmute yourself. Okay, thank you. Yes, you can speak now. I think it seems you can have your voice now. Yes. Okay, maybe while we're waiting for you, we'll go to the next speaker, Ife Awoyele, please. Ife Awoyele.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Or good
yes,
afternoon.
I want to appreciate all the speakers, and I want to say it's right on time. I'm Awoyele Ifeoluwa from Adeyemi College of Education. I hope you can hear me.
Please, you can speak louder a little and put your speaker close to the mouth.
Okay. I'm Ifeoluwa Awoyele from Adeyemi College of Education.
Okay.
Now, I want to appreciate the speaker once again. My major concern, which I would want us to address, I would have loved us to go the education week. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is this concept called digital citizenship.
Okay.
Norem talked about digital footprints. Now, this is a concept that we can teach our students right from school. So I would like us to look at it from the educational perspective. We have workers that are not, their digital citizenship and knowledge is not adequate. So I would rather want us to approach this from the digital citizenship approach, just like a normal citizen of the country. You know what to do. You know how to approach issues, okay, as a good citizen of the nation. So the digital citizenship concept, if we're able to imbibe it even from the school, okay, by the time students get to the workforce, to the labor market, this would have been part and parcel of them. So it won't be an issue of trailing or tracking their use of digital devices any longer.
That's good.
Okay, so that's my thought.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ife Awuyele, on digital citizenship. And it's a good contribution that if students are exposed to digital citizenship at an early stage, they will know how to contribute and how to really comport themselves on the digital platform. Thank you so much for that contribution. I think on this note, I can't see hands anymore, and then we are gradually rounding off. Dr. Yemisi Babalola, we will need you to just make your contribution based on these stuff that people have spoken. Then afterwards, I'll call Dr. Ayo Alonge to also speak to that. So over to you, Dr. Babalola.
Thank you very much. I quite appreciate the contributions. But first of all, let me try and address that question by, I don't remember the name, on distinguishing between what is the use and abuse of the social media. Yes, social media use is expected, it is desired, but it has to be productive. Those kind of activities that actually contribute to effectiveness, efficiency, and task accomplishment in organizations, personal development. Those are the expected use of social media. So anything we do online that adds value to us without in any way undermining our productivity at work, okay, those are good, or desirable uses of the social media. But anything contrary to that will be abused. Apart from visiting and those no-go areas, on the internet, apart from those, even spending too much time while doing what you think can develop you personally, or to help you at, as a professional, might not be productive or might not be beneficial to the organization, because we find that sometimes employees use the time of the organization to develop themselves. That will be abuse of social media, because you are not actually doing that you're doing that detriment of your employer. Okay, and then concerning this contribution of, yes, the last speaker, I think it's very, very apt that librarians, take up this challenge and see how we can incorporate in information literacy course, this idea of digital citizenship. Make students understand, though they are digital natives, they may not really understand the implication of what they do online. If they are made to understand that they could actually be leaving negative digital footprints on the internet through their activities on social media and the like, I think it will help to curb them. They would have developed the right attitude and imbibe the right behavior, such that when they get to the workplace, it will not be a challenge. I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge to all of us to see how we can make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yemisi. I will be calling on Dr. Alonge, but before then, let's just get the contribution of Akim Araba. He was here earlier on, but we lost him. So Akim Araba, over to you. Please, very brief before we go to Dr. Alonge. Okay.
Me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Akimaraba.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello, hello?
We can.
Can you hear me? Can you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I can. Yeah. I must commend the organizer of this particular conference, because I was able to discover that from the first, second, and third presenter, it's have shown that the effect and the impact of social media in delivering a good services, especially in the considering the nature of our environment and putting into consideration factors of Nigerian, especially in terms of abuses the social media. It has gone to a stage that it is requested either by the government or put in place some parastatal that will be able to check the effective and efficient use of the social media. From the little experience that I am able to observe, especially in some weeks ago, I discovered that if social media can be put into a proper use, then it will go a long way in helping every organization in having a good productivity, especially on the workforce. Considering the COVID-19 experience that all had the negative impact of it. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, please speak on.
Hello?
Maybe the network at your end is not okay, but we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Please, you have 30 seconds more before we round off.
Considering the COVID-19 pandemic, I have realized that some institutions in Nigeria have been able to use that as added advantages to increase their efficiency and effectiveness, conducting an examination online, and the students were able to be monitored properly. And these have not made the institution not to lose the working hour. And from there, I was able to discover that most of the workforces were on deck. Everybody were ready to deliver at a fast speed. In this.
Okay, we have lost you, but thank you so much, Mr. Akimaraba. You've actually made your point that the issue on ground, the COVID-19, has created a shift from the traditional approach to digital approach. And most of us can now interact much more on the digital platform. And this is a very good development. Look at everyone gathered now. The cost of transportation, the cost of movement have been eliminated, and we are together. Thank you so much. Now we have Dr. Alunge that will be making his contribution before we round off today. Over to you, Dr. Alunge.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ulabi. Thank you. And I would like to speak on the policy, social media policy. Aside social media policy, it is very important that, I know Dr. Babalola mentioned that each institution should have a kind of a smart goals and reporting mechanism for jobs. For example, now if you open social media and your workers, they know what to do, and they know the limits of what they will do, and they will report. They will not waste time, and there will still be productivity. So that's one. That's one. The other one I would like to mention is on the digital literacy. I know there's a policy now that we're working towards having digital literacy courses from primary school to higher institution. If they know about digital literacy, which digital citizenship is part, I believe people will use social media, the internet generally, responsibly. So that's another one. Then the third one is on digital footprints. I'm happy that guy mentioned that. I've forgotten his name. You know, I also mentioned it briefly. It is very important that we create positive one. And from time to time, we can be checking what our worth online. What are people saying about us? What are people posting about us? If you don't know, they may be posting bad things, negative things about you, but you need to check. And we have a lot of apps that can do this. Like Google Alert, you can just put your name that they will alert you whenever your name is mentioned. So to help you to be able to establish and maintain a positive digital footprint. Then the other one I would like to mention is on the, yes, we should be very careful. You know, our children they don't use internet before, they don't use WhatsApp, Telegram, they are now using it, Google Classroom. So as parents, I know we have parents here, we should be watchful and monitor what they do online. We have a lot of app and applications, and software, so that at the end, you know, like I use Google One. All my children, as they're online, I know what they are doing. I know the sites they are going, and I've warned them, if you go to sites that, you know, I will ban you from using this, and you will not attend your class. So as parents, we should not take it for granted, because children can go astray online. Some people commit suicide because of where they go. And you won't know if you are not checking them. And they just be in their bedroom or even in the room. You'll be watching you like this. They've gone. So it is very, very important we do this. Yeah. And the last one, we should be very careful. Dr. Abarala mentioned that we work anytime now. In the night, like this morning, I've done a presentation 5 a.m. today. Because of time zone in Nairobi, I made a presentation 5 a.m. I woke up 5 a.m. If you're not careful, we overwork. And there'll be issue of hypertension and so on. So yet, let's still maintain the normal time. Oh, I want to work 8 to 4. Rest. Have time with your family. Not that you'll be having meeting 10 p.m., 11 p.m. in the night. It kills even faster than coronavirus. Let's be careful about that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alonga. That is a very good aspect to it. You know, monitoring our children and also monitoring ourselves, making sure that we don't overwork ourselves. As you're talking, sincerely, is the truth. And maybe you are actually talking to me because I work late into the night, and sometimes you just call me. So what are you doing? Sometimes you tell me to go and sleep. But you too, why were you awake that time? That's the question we should ask you. Thank you so much for that contribution. Dr. Yusuf, I seem not to see you. Please, are you in? Please, we just want to have your own contribution before we round off, and then we can call it a day. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to commend my co-facilitators, even though I could not get to actually listen very well to Dr. Yemisi. I was looking forward to her presentation, but I lost connection at some point, and reconnecting was, I want to believe that the slides will be made available. And to say that everything everyone here has said is correct. The truth is that social media has come to stay, but we must engage positively. We must engage maturely with social media. Social media, if you engage positively with it, is very, very good. We talked about personal branding, organizational branding, and so many other things, you know, that have come on board this morning. And somebody talked about the digital footprints we leave. It is very important for us to really consider that and know that whatever you post online, you know, is a reflection of your personality. It is a reflection of who you are. So as much as possible, let's guide and be guided, even if nobody is monitoring us. I have a philosophy about life, I have a view about life, that the highest form of monitoring is self-monitoring. Nobody can monitor you like you. So if there is anything, you just have that culture within you. There are values you hold as an individual. You know, there are limits, there are boundaries you set for yourself as an individual. And I think that should guide our social media usage. Thank you very much.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Yusuf. Really appreciate that contribution. We may be rounding off soon. The Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, is has been with us from the beginning till now. Also the registrar at Landmark University. We really appreciate your support, because to be with us from the beginning to the end is a major contribution considering their tight schedule. We have the Vice Chancellor already seated, and he wants to also make a kind of contribution before we round off. And on a final note, we'll be listening to the Vice Chancellor of Landmark University. Please help me to welcome Vice Chancellor, Engineer Professor Adeniyi Olayanju. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, our convener. Honestly, it's been a refreshing time, and I want to appreciate all our facilitators. We want to thank you for quality delivery. You have not wasted our time, neither have you wasted our data. We really want to thank you. And I look at the number of participants on this platform. As at the last count, we were knocking at 120. That is great. The message has been passed across. But let me quickly tell us that we have the following key takeaways. That in a tech-savvy world, managing people indeed is an enormous task. And to the extent that being techno-matured now is not optional any longer, especially with respect to social media, time management, and organization productivity. Being productive is all about creating beautiful services. We have heard it from all of them. There is no way we can cage people from being on social media. The best we can do is for that of laptop or desktop, what of their individual mobile devices. And so I love what Dr. Felicia Yusuf just said. It's all about disciplining yourself, whether the employers are monitoring you or not. I am a social media person. Proud to now, I have 2 Facebook platforms or profile. I've converted one strictly to Landmark University NSMAN, and that is strictly all about Landmark. The second one, which is all about branding, I put as Ojogbon Adeniyi Olayanju. Somebody asked me, what is Ojogbon? I said, Ojogbon is a professor in Yoruba, just like Omu-Aran is a doctor. It's all about branding. It's all about branding. So, knowing what to post per time, we have heard about footprints now. What are we saying? Being agile or being socially successful as a manager is all about the right people. And like God's servant, the chancellor of this great university, Dr. David Oyedepo, we always put it, and I'm paraphrasing now, that no organization grows without a people on the go. So it's all about people. It's all about the quality of people that we have. And so they have mentioned it today. We cannot overdrive them. We cannot take away their privileges. But the truth of the matter is discipline, self-discipline in particular, is a key one. Once again, I want to thank the organizers and the convener for giving us this kind of a treat on a day like this. Love you all. I want to say in Landmark University, we are open to collaboration. I've seen people as far as India joining us on this platform. I went through and I saw people from abroad too. People from our universities around us, nationwide. It has been wow, it has been awesome. Landmark University is saying, come down with us. We are ready to do you good, for the Lord has spoken good concerning us. Congratulations all. Thank you and God bless.
Let's pray together for this. Thank you so much, sir. As a matter of fact, this is very, very impressive. We cannot thank you enough. We cannot thank the registrar also enough, and our deans, our heads of departments, the faculty and staff that have been here. But I will not be doing that. The vote of thanks, we have the Director Center for Learning Resources, and that is Dr. Agaptos Nwoza, who will be doing the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Dr. Agaptos.
Thank you, Mr. Sholat.
Thank you, sir.
The Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, Professor Adeni Olayanju, the Registrar, Landmark University, Ms. Fola Oyinloye, our distinguished facilitators, participants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I wish to express our appreciation first and foremost, to the Almighty God for making it possible for us to organize this webinar. I wish to also thank our amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Adeni Olayanju, for his unwavering support to the Center for Learning Resources and for his passion in driving Landmark University to be a leading world-class university. I also extend my appreciation to our registrar, Ms. Fola Oyinloye, for her wonderful administrative savviness, which has continued to oil the wheel of administration in Landmark University. Our facilitators have done an excellent job in terms of delivery, in terms of quality of content. I can attest that we have all been richly blessed by their presentations. And on this note, I wish to sincerely appreciate Dr. Felicia Yusuf of Covenant University, Dr. Ayo Alonge of University of Ibadan, Dr. Yemisi Babalola of Babcock University. These facilitators have done a great job, and in fact, their presentations were quite wonderful. I wish to also appreciate the participants in this webinar. I recognize that our participants are from all walks of life, and from different nationalities. I say thank you to all of you, and I believe that the lessons that we have learned from this webinar will go a long way in making us responsible employers and responsible employees. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. All our participants, we say thank you so much. Do have a great day. Thank you. Then, thank you. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. The registrar, thank you so much. Yes. So all over, yes, doctor, thank you, thank you. So we will get the slides of the presentations across to us, and also we will send information to participants after this. Thank you so much. Bye.
Wow.